All right, let's dive into a sound that has literally echoed all around the world, from bustling city streets to massive music festivals. I'm talking about the Hare Krishna mantra. You've almost definitely heard it, but do you really know where it comes from? Or, maybe more importantly, what its ultimate purpose is supposed to be? Well, we're going to get into all of it.
You know, a lot of people think its modern fame just kind of kicked off with pop culture. Maybe from that super iconic 70s Bollywood hit, Dum Maro Dum. And hey, it's a catchy tune, so it's a really easy assumption to make. But is that the real story?
Not even close. The source material we're looking at today takes us on a journey way further back, deep into ancient scriptures. So let's peel back all those layers of pop culture and see what the original texts actually have to say about this.
So our first stop is the scriptural roots. We're going to look at the evidence presented in these texts that really establishes where this mantra comes from and, what gives it its authority.
Okay, so check this out. The source for this quote is pretty remarkable. It's from the Kali Santarana Upanishad, and it's Brahma himself, the actual engineer of the universe, who personally endorses this 16-word, 32-syllable mantra. He calls it the ultimate remedy for all the troubles of our modern age, the age of Kali.
And the endorsements, they just don't stop there. Here we see another major divine authority, Shiva, and he's instructing his son, Kartikeya. He actually calls it the Maha mantra, which means the great mantra, and he really emphasizes how important it is to receive it properly from a teacher. So you've got two of the most revered figures in the entire tradition, both pointing to the exact same chant.
Okay, so we know it's ancient and we know it comes highly recommended, but what are we actually saying when we chant it? Let's break down the 3 sacred names that make up the entire mantra.
So the mantra is really built around these 3 core names. Hare is a call to the divine feminine energy of God, who's known as Radharani. Krishna literally means the all-attractive one, and Ram refers to the source of all spiritual pleasure. Now, this one's interesting because it can mean either the beloved of Radharani or the husband of Sita, and it really just depends on the chanter's own personal devotion.
And here's a pretty fascinating detail. Of those 3 names, which one do you think gets repeated the most? It's Hare. It actually appears 8 times in the mantra, which puts the divine feminine energy right at the very forefront of this whole spiritual call.
Now, this emphasis on Hare brings us to a really common point of debate, the sequence. Why is the mantra recited in this specific order? Is it just random, or is there some kind of deeper logic at play here?
Right, so some people argue that the popular sequence, the one that starts with Hey Krishna, is actually an inversion of a more traditional order. They'll ask, shouldn't it be Hey Ram first? And you know what? It's a valid question, and the source material gives a very specific and really logical answer.
So here's the crucial point. The mantra is a prayer, and it has 2 really distinct parts. The Hare Krishna half is a plea for attraction. It's like saying, "Oh Lord, let me be drawn to you." The Hare Ram half is a plea for engagement. "Oh Lord, please engage me in your service." And spiritually, it makes perfect sense. Attraction has to come before service. I mean, you can't genuinely serve someone you're not even attracted to, right?
And this logic, it's confirmed directly in the scriptures. In the Brahmyamila Tantra, that's the same text we saw a minute ago, Shiva himself lays out the sequence just like this for his wife Parvati. So that pretty much provides a definitive, scriptural answer to the whole debate.
Now, we come to what is maybe the most important question of all. Why even chant this? So many people do it for peace of mind or for stress relief. But according to the source material, that's just scratching the surface.
The ultimate goal, the main product, isn't just a feeling of calm. According to texts like the Chaitanya Bhagavata, the number one purpose is to awaken one's dormant, natural love for the divine, an emotion they call prema. Everything else, that's just a bonus.
This chart really puts it into perspective. Divine love, that's the ultimate destination. All the other benefits, like peace of mind or mental clarity, they're wonderful for sure, but the source considers them side products. They're the natural, positive things that happen on the journey, but they're not the destination itself.
And let's be honest, that list of side products is pretty impressive. We're talking about everything from better relationships to even liberation from the whole cycle of rebirth, which is known as moksha. But again, all of these are considered secondary to that primary goal of pure, selfless love.
And that is why it's called the Maha Mantra, the great mantra. It's not just some catchy phrase. Its greatness comes from its immense spiritual power, its connection to the great teacher Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who made it popular, and its unique ability to awaken that ultimate spiritual emotion.
But achieving this isn't something that's passive. I just love this analogy from the teacher Rupa Goswami. He compares the practice to how a miser is obsessed with their money. It implies real discipline, focus, and value. It's not about chanting casually whenever you feel like it, but about making it a focused, counted, and really cherished part of your life. So, this brings us to our final thought. If the names in this mantra are really a form of spiritual wealth, a kind of currency for developing love and clarity, it leaves us with a pretty provocative question. How are you investing your attention and your time? Thanks for tuning in.